My auntie, Mary Bell, is a residential school survivor and is our oldest surviving matriarch. She carries a lot of truth and a lot of pain. And now that she's an elder, she's only focused on how the story will carry on for us.
Well, COVID-19 threatens all of us. It is becoming more acute for Indigenous communities across Canada. In her new documentary, Inendi, activist and director Sarain Fox highlights the risk that COVID has on the elders in the Indigenous community and joins us now via Skype to tell us more. Good morning and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Manokasha. Thanks for having me.
Now, what prompted this and what does the word Inendi mean?
Yeah, so my Auntie Mary is the oldest surviving matriarch in my family, and she's a force to be reckoned with. So as a storyteller, I've been waiting a long time to tell her story, and right now it seemed like the perfect time to spend some more time with her. And Inendi means she is absent. And it was a play on being away from the school and also being away from all of us during COVID-19 and what that means.
Now, as we heard off the top there, Auntie Mary was a residential school survivor. In fact, did she not speak to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission?
Yes, she did. She actually did a lot of work with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission from the very beginning, working with Marie Sinclair, and she's a survivor of the Spanish residential school, which is just outside of the Sioux.
Was there anything new that you learned that really blew you away in filming this?
Oh, so many things. I think I grew up hearing these stories as a young person, but now as a woman, I think hearing these stories and really understanding what it means to grow up with this kind of trauma was so huge for me. But I think what really struck me was Auntie Mary's resilience, but particularly her sense of humor. To have such trauma in your life and to still continue to smile and continue to find the humanity and the goodness really speaks to Auntie Mary's spirit, and I think the Indigenous spirit and what it means to find healing. But the best thing was my Auntie Mary telling me about learning to drive. I had no idea that learning to drive was the force that sort of changed her whole experience. It's freedom.
Yes, I can imagine. Preserving the culture is so important, and particularly as COVID-19 threatens the community.
My name is Sarain Fox.
Yeah, I mean, preserving the culture, I think also just making sure that there's something to be passed down. I just became a new mom myself, and I think I'm really thinking of my auntie and all of those elders who fought so hard to make sure that I knew who I know who I am, and for so many of us that wasn't the case. Residential schools were designed to prevent Indigenous people from passing on our stories. So, yes.
Well, congratulations, by the way, on
Thank
motherhood.
you.
Yeah. Now, your generation, I mean, you have stories to pass along as well. What's the biggest challenge for your generation?
I think the biggest challenge for us is going to be really accepting that what we have, what we are carrying is enough. So for so many of us, without our language, without our stories, we can feel inadequate. But I want young people to know that there's still a lot of time. There's still time to speak to your elders, to learn those things, and to remember that we have all of the things that we need to already within us. So I think just lifting up our stories and our truth is going to be a challenge. But I think it's also, we're seeing young people do it all over this country, and it's what's inspiring me right now is our young people and the stories that they are leading with.
Yeah, well, we have about 30 seconds left, but specific to your world, filmmaking, this was an entirely Indigenous crew. Are things improving in that area?
I think we have so much work to do. I think Indigenous people need to be in charge of our own stories. We need to reclaim the narrative, and I'm proud to be a part of doing that work, but I think we have so much more work we can do, and I'm really excited to see Indigenous people leading the way, telling our own stories and reframing the Canadian narrative.
Okay, we will link where we can find the documentary Inendi, and we'll link that at chh.com. Sarain Fox, thank you so much for joining us.
Chimigwech, thank you so much.
When he came out of that school, and a lot of us turned to alcohol,